Romania moved back into the high income category after falling into the middle upper income category due to the COVID-19 pandemic's economic effects in 2019. But after making a strong comeback in 2021, they succeeded in staying in the high income category in 2022. In fact, its GDP per capita has been increasing since 2015, and this trend is expected to remain until 2027. Nevertheless, some economic and political challenges render the path of continued growth. Over the past 20 years, Romania has improved its economic performance and prosperity, contributing to the country's convergence of living standards with those in the European Union. However, a number of obstacles prevent it from achieving more equitable, environmentally and economically sustainable growth, including inadequate institutions, a lack of qualified labour, and the consequences of climate change. Things are coming down on Romania like a ton of bricks. Its average per capita income has been fast approaching the OECD average during the past 20 years. Its economy has also shown to be resilient. Following a severe downturn brought on by the coronavirus outbreak in 2020, activity quickly recovered. Short and medium-term difficulties still exist though. Cautionary macroeconomic policies are needed in light of the recent spike in inflation and the ongoing pandemic wave. Financial sustainability will eventually need to increase in order to handle aging. Because productivity levels are still far below the OECD average, it is necessary to lower obstacles to competition, invest more in human capital, strengthen the legal setting, and upgrade transportation infrastructure. No quick fix, right? Romania ought to take advantage of this chance to increase funding for the digital and ecological transformations. The rate of poverty is still high, and many groups find it difficult to enter the workforce. Actually, the unemployment rate there is still high compared to other countries in Europe. Reiterating active labour market policies and providing access to training are essential if one intends to solve the skills gap. Ultimately, strengthening the rule of law and combating corruption are necessary in order to pursue convergence to the highest OECD standards. If you like this video so far, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Romania's distinct cultural past and its political economic history following World War II make it a fascinating country for international attention. A more Stalinist administration led the country, and unprecedented levels of economic mismanagement and human rights violations took place. Following the fall of Nicolae Ceausescu, the country was ruled by an ex-communist government. Even though the Ceausescu dictatorship was less harsh than its predecessor, Romania nonetheless mishandled economic policies and experienced more difficult political and economic transitions than other Eastern European nations. Difficulties spiral out of control in Romania. Prior to World War II, its economy was mostly based on agriculture. It did have enormous petroleum reserves, which made it a desirable target for the conflict. After World War II, the nation underwent a dramatic shift to an industrialized nation. As per the orders of the Soviet Union, every private company was nationalized by 1948. Subsequently, an immense heavy manufacturing sector was developed, centrally planned. Massive oil refineries and power plants, steel plants, chemical and mechanical combines were built from the bottom up. Manufacturing production surged as unemployment in rural areas vanished completely. Additionally, the infrastructure was broadened. In Bulgaria, the Danube Bridge between Giurgiu and Rus opened in 1954. But the enormous Black Sea-Danube Canal project was abandoned in the middle and wasn't finished until about 1984. The astounding rate of industrialization was attained, as in other communist nations, at the price of a stagnant agricultural sector and sharply reduced customer goods production. Furthermore, this growth was broad in scope due to rising energy, raw material, and labor consumption. The government made an effort to veer off course around the end of the 1960s, emphasizing collaboration with Western companies and more technologically advanced industries. They're trying to never let grass grow under their feet. All the errors of the Russian Stalinist agenda were replicated by the Romanian Stalinists in the Romanian People's Republic. There was a lack of food as a consequence of the breakdown of collective ownership of agriculture. In search of unemployment, many from the rural districts escaped collectivization and moved to the metropolis. Similar to Russia, Some production and employment were gained by substantial industry investment, but not much. Ultimately, Romania's large industrial activities required the costly importation of fundamental raw resources like iron ore and crude oil to maintain them. And by the 1980s, the once proud breadbasket of Eastern Europe was unable to feed even its own citizens. The gloves are off. Nowadays, the service sector makes up the majority of the GDP, followed by the industrial, then the agricultural sector. In 2022, the share of agriculture in Romania's gross domestic product was 4.46%. Industry contributed approximately 28.83%, and the services sector contributed about 57.45%. A 2023 EY Romania Attractiveness Survey showed that Romania saw an 86% rise in the number of FDI projects in 2022, up 7 positions from the year before, and ranking it as the 15th most attractive European investment target. While Romania has not been immune to the geopolitical and economic upheavals around the world, it has demonstrated more resilience than many other European nations and has seen a notable increase in foreign investment since 2020. FDI reached a new high of 14 billion euros in 2022, compared to 12.5 billion euros in 2021. Among the markets in Central and Eastern Europe, Romania was still behind Poland and Serbia. The fact that nearly twice as many executives plan to invest more than 100 million euros in 2023 as opposed to a year earlier further suggests this heightened confidence. The vast majority, nevertheless, still intends to invest less than 10 million euros. In the upcoming years, the development of large-scale bankable investment projects will be essential to Romania's transformation in the economy. The EU programme financing of 80 billion euros that is available for 2021 to 2027 ought to be the driving force behind transformation and serve as a multiplier by encouraging more investment from the private sector. Romania's technology industry has been steadily expanding, mostly due to the country's high-skilled labour population. Remarkably, the ICT industry in Romania accounts for about 6.2% of the GDP of the nation. It's expected to raise its ICT exports from $7.4 billion in 2021 to $9.3 billion by 2026. Since 1999, the nation's exports have increased on average 3.7% annually. There are 433 software development companies there, and they are all well versed in a variety of technical and domain areas, such as IT, business and financial services, and healthcare. A 2022 study by the Employers Association of the Software and Services Industry states that the Romanian IT business is expanding rapidly, with some 220,000 computer science and engineering personnel already employed. The Romanian labour force is highly skilled in technology, but they also have excellent commercial acumen and a thorough awareness of the demands and obstacles of the market. It should come as no shock that businesses from all over the world are drawn to them in their quest to create the next big financial brands and products. Seems like they know all the tricks of the trade. The industry there is growing and has a lot of promise because big companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Intel, Google, and Oracle are recruiting and hiring a lot of the expertise that is out there, and new international firms are joining the market. Even though they presently make up roughly 67% of all IT businesses in the Romanian tech sector, small-size suppliers have a tendency to expand in both quantity and size. There are now 41 major vendors in the country that employ more than 250 people as of 2023. Of them, 14 enterprises are notable for having more than 1,000 workers. 2 of them have more than 10,000 workers. Seems like they're keeping their nose to the grindstone. Government inefficiency and corruption have long plagued Romania. When Bucharest was scheduled to take over the rotating presidency of the European Union in January 2019, after years of growing dissatisfaction in Brussels, prominent insiders implicitly challenged the rationality of admitting the nation to the Union. "We knew perfectly well at the time that Romania and Bulgaria were not ready," stated a participant in the accession process. The claimed error was thinking that the two would conform to European norms just by means of becoming members. There, corruption became a major issue during the country's shift from a communist to a democratic government. Following the 1989 Romanian Revolution, there was a significant institutional and legislative vacuum that led to major dysfunctions in both the criminal justice system and politics. These days, corruption is accepted as a normal aspect of Romanian corporate culture, since it is still considered appropriate to provide a gift or money in exchange for a favour from the public administration. It's like corruption is a necessary evil there. In addition to the institutional and political context, the healthcare system has consistently been linked to corruption issues. It ranks second in the European Union for corruption as of 2019, behind Bulgaria, in accordance with Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index. In 2016, there were over 600 corruption offences reported to Romanian courts, which was a record high, with the exception of the crime of bribery, which grew from 2018 to 2019. The majority of corruption offences have since somewhat decreased. In order to maintain its competitive edge and increase its allure amidst the European heavyweights, Romania will need to foster technical and economic advancements, cut red tape, and guarantee that investors perceive the nation's legal system as stable and transparent. As a result, there will be a greater chance that Romania will establish an atmosphere that is progressive and welcoming to investors, surpassing the previous peak in terms of the total number of investment programs. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons to receive more content. See you in the next video.